Welcome back. It's part 2, my 9 actual step-by-step things that you need to do to get your next product line launched. Product line, product collection, handmade happenings, whatever you want to call it. We're going step by step and in detail today. I have a special guest. Say hi.
Hi.
As usual, you all know me. Well, if you've been here before, you know me. My kids are always in and out of my videos, but such is life when you are a mom. We're gonna get right into the value of today's video, but before we do, I just wanted to let you guys know I have added some new inventory to my wholesale shop on FAIRE. If you are looking for a few things to kind of boost up your own inventory, so I'll leave that down in the description below. Feel free to check it out. Let's get into the value, my 9 steps from inception to physical product collection and launch day. Here are all of the things that you need to do. Actually, this is a pre-tip. This isn't like a real tip, but I mean, like it is a real tip, but I didn't include it in my 9 things. The first thing you should do, if you haven't already, is go ahead and watch part 1 of this series. I will have it linked below. This is what the thumbnail looks like. You want to make sure you have all of these foundational things put into play and ready to go before you start planning this collection. So again, I'll have that linked down in the description below. I highly recommend you watch that video before you finish this one. So go over there, watch that, and then come right back on over to here. All right, so actual step number 1 is going to be to pick a vibe for your collection. Are you planning it to be fun and floral? Are you planning it to be, you know, earth-based? Like, what exactly are your wants for this collection? And here, we're not planning specific products that we want to launch. What I want you to think of is more of like a mood board or like a vibe, or what's your aesthetic going to be? You know, like just kind of like a big picture, not a specific product. Now, if you have a specific product in mind that you want to launch, then you can plan your vibe around that. But again, we're not making like a line sheet of all of the products we want. We are making a vibe sheet. That's kind of how I feel when I think of a vibe sheet. Like, so all of the steps that I'm giving you are what I actually follow when I am planning my own collection, and I always plan it in my notebook. So here is my mood board. The only thing I don't have on here is more of like a color scheme, which I would normally have down here. I just literally ran out of printer paper because my daughter's been super into drawing, and obviously I'm not going to stop her from like being super into drawing. So I don't have my colors here, but I would normally pick like my collection colors and print it and make like a little, you know, swatch sheet in Canva, and print it out and glue it on here. All right, so we've chosen our vibe. The next thing that is super important, obviously, to handmade business owners like us is to choose a set of fragrances that you will be using. This is possibly the most tedious of all of the steps, but obviously it's the fragrance. It's one of the more, at least in my opinion, more fun parts of having a handmade bath and body product business. You know, you need to do your research, figure out what website. Gosh, there are so many different websites that you can use. I'll link a couple that I enjoy and use frequently down below, but you want to get kind of like your fragrances down because you need to be ordering those things. So finding those fragrances that vibe with your theme, definitely necessary. Next thing you want to do is pick a tentative date for your launch. Now, I'm not saying that you should be picking this date and then announcing it all over all of your social medias, okay? Because you need to take into account ordering supplies, shipping delays, all of those kinds of things. If you're adding a new product or a new category that you haven't made before, you know, you need time to test out ingredients and recipes. So you want to have that date in mind, but you also want to remain flexible should anything change. So far, we have selected our vibe, researched and found, hopefully ordered our fragrances, and chosen a launch date. The next thing you need to do is figure out anything else that you need to order and order it, okay? Don't go anywhere else, don't do anything else until you have figured out what you need to order. This is kind of one of those like catch-22 situations because you need to order everything that you need, but you also need to like think about the products that you're going to develop before you can make sure that you have everything that you need for it. So I'm gonna say that these two are not necessarily interchangeable, but you kind of need to have like both of these things going at the same time. So here is what I normally do. I look at what products are returning. I write down everything that I need to order for those products. And again, if you watch part 1 of this video, you've already taken inventory of everything that you have, so you know what you have and what you need. So get those returning products, anything that you need to order, write a list or add it to your cart, have 17 tabs open, one for each website or supplier that you prefer to use. Just get everything in one place for your returning items. Then you need to brainstorm what your new products are going to be. So I already have and will return my massaging soap bars, bath bombs, whipped sugar scrubs, and salt soaks, okay? So those things I had already planned for. So I have here my tentative launch date, which is January 2022. I've already ordered everything that I need, so once all of those things arrive, then I will add in like an actual date. But right now, I just kind of have January 7th, but I can tell you right now that January 7th is gonna be too early. There were quite a bit of delays that I didn't plan for, which again is why being so flexible. You see how it's kind of like everything is so intertwined. So I have my list of returning products, anything that I'm changing for those products. For example, my bath bombs, I am keeping the same shape that they have been, but I normally would use almond oil. I'm trying to remove almond oil from my formula for bath bombs just to open it up to like a new customer base where more people can enjoy the product. So I just have written that I'm going to be using a new formula. And then again, these are my returning products. Down here, I have my new products. And then I went ahead and figured my featured fragrances down in this area. So we're putting all of our returning ingredients that we need to purchase in our cart or on our list. Then we're gonna go and develop those new products. After we've gotten everything put in our carts for returning products, we're going to need to develop our new products. I am adding 2 categories for my next collection, and those categories are candles, which I'm super excited about, and milk bath soaks. So both of those I'm pretty pumped about both of them. There's something that I wanted to offer before, but obviously, you know, you gotta start where you start. So I'll be adding both of those categories. Once you figure out what new products you are going to be adding, obviously do your research, find your recipes, put in your carts or write on your list whatever you're going to need, including packaging for those items. Okay, so we've got our vibe picked out, we've got our mood board done, our date is tentatively set, but we're going to remain flexible. We've added and ordered everything for our returning products. We've added and ordered everything that we need for our new products, including all of your fragrances, additives, bases, and packaging. The next very important step, and if you're a creative person, which I'm assuming that you probably are, here comes the actual like mapping out the products that you will launch. So again, this is really just one big ball of things that kind of happen simultaneously. Obviously, we have an idea of products that we're going to be launching when we're adding those ingredients to the cart, but here's where you can like actually sit and write out everything that you plan to offer. So essentially what you're going to do, and this is for both returning and new products and returning / new categories, you're gonna write down your category and then everything that you are planning to offer in that category. And I'll show you mine. This is what my candle sheet looks like. and I just have that it's gonna be my first run. I'm gonna make 9 jars total, and I have like just the quantity and each fragrance that I plan to offer. I added in a couple of other things like, you know, the packaging and necessary pieces that I will need to add. So again, you're gonna take each category and break it down by product. Personally, when I make my brainstorming sheet, what I do is I write a tentative, like, and of course all of this is tentative. I write the name that I'm considering for that product, the type of product, what packaging I will need, or if I'll need like a jar or a, you know, a candle vessel, you know, any of those things that I might need, what fragrance oil I'm going to add to it, the color, just literally everything that you can possibly think of. I just kind of write it all in one line and then move on to the next product. And I organize it a little bit later after I finalized, because everything that I plan for does not end up in the collection for one reason or another. Okay, this is the point where normally my brain is like, and I take a break. I take the rest of the day, the rest of the weekend, rest of the week, whatever I need, just take some time. Now that you've ordered everything you're going to need, you do have that time, right? There's always at least a little bit of lag time between when you order everything you need and when it arrives. So just take a break, take a breather, go do something fun. We've been playing a lot of checkers at my house. So just do whatever you need to do. Take as much time as you need. That's why our dates are tentative. Now, you've brainstormed, you have like your rough drafts of the collection you will be launching. After you take your break, you're gonna sit down and look at it with fresh eyes. There is nothing like looking at something you've been working on with fresh eyes. You will see clearly all the mistakes that you have made, or you'll look at it and be like, oh my God, I can't believe, what was I thinking? You know, when I said I was gonna offer a shaved beard scented shampoo, like, you know what I mean? Really just taking that step back gives you that time that you need to separate yourself from the list and kind of take like your brain so far out of it. So take your list, look at it. You know, maybe you've gotten your fragrance oil since then, and one that you thought was going to be the center of your entire collection is really terrible. Now, I can tell you this has definitely happened to me. I ended up actually not even launching the collection at all, because this would have been a part of like my fall / winter holiday that I ended up taking off. But I ordered a sweet cinnamon pumpkin because that is literally everything that I love as far as fragrance goes. I love a pumpkin, I love cinnamon, like just, I had such high hopes for it, and it was going to be the central focus of my fall line. And again, I'm not gonna tell you where I got it from because I don't wanna be shady, but it smelled so terrible. And it wasn't just me. Like, I had everyone in my house smell it, and it—
Sorry, Mommy, I made that with my water.
It's okay, puppies, it's okay. And it smells so awful. I was like, I can't possibly use this. And I still haven't used it. I mean, the time obviously for pumpkin has passed for this year, but it smells so awful. So anyway, you may need to make adjustments, you know, that's why all of this is kind of like a rough draft. Until you have everything in front of you and you see what's going to work and what's not going to work, it's kind of hard to make final decisions. So now you have everything in front of you, pare your list down, see, has anything changed? Has arrowroot become back ordered and you can't find it anywhere? You know, just pare your list down and make a final draft of your collection sheet. After you write that final list, girl, it is time to get going. Now, I recommend starting with the things that you have never made before. That way it gives you the most time to make adjustments as needed. That is it. Now, I know this video was kind of more like a mashup of like all of the happenings in my brain, but really it's kind of hard to like separate them in a step-by-step because a lot of them do kind of happen simultaneously, and a lot of it is really like abstract and up in the air until you have things in front of you. So I say all that to say that is how I plan a collection or a product launch for my handmade business. That was a lot, I know. Good for you for sticking around this whole time. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way next week when I post the final, likely the final part 3 of this series, you get notified. Next week, I'm going to go over the mistakes that I have made so far in my product launches so you don't have to waste your time, money, energy, resources, and all of those things making those same mistakes. Okay, I'm gonna see you. You can check me out on TikTok at Lather Bath Co, and I will see you next week.